What's wrong, Roger?
Something ate holes in all my sweaters. They're ruined.
Gracious!
Some of my best costumes are sweater-based.
In the episode Ricky Spanish, Roger creates what might be his most psychotic persona yet. After being released from prison, he immediately betrays Steve and returns to his old ways of pure chaos.
You came back for me! I knew you changed! I knew you...
Ricky Spanish.
But this is just the beginning of Roger's most insane moments.
Wow. Sounds like Ricky Spanish
Ricky Spanish.
really is your worst persona ever.
Keep your voice down. These people will kill me if they find out I'm...
Ricky Spanish.
After spending years in prison, Ricky Spanish gets released and immediately finds Steve, who believes people can change. Steve actually tries to help Ricky become a better person, which already shows how naive he is. Because the moment Steve turns his back, Ricky starts plotting something way worse than his previous crimes.
Avery, I'm here to apologize for killing your wife.
And we're talking about a guy who's already done some seriously messed up stuff. Setting fire to a children's hospital, pushing Brian Lewis's wife into a cement mixer, and stealing money from Tuttle's grandma, all while whispering that creepy whispers Ricky Spanish. The entire town literally riots when they hear he's being released. That's how bad this persona is.
Hey, why are we at the docks? Well, what's going on?
What's going on is we're stealing cashmere sweaters.
But Ricky, you've made so much progress. You've changed.
People don't change, Steve. You're thinking of changelings.
Instead of actually trying to change, Ricky sets up this elaborate scheme involving the children's hospital. He convinces Steve they're going to help sick kids, but really? He's just using these cancer patients as a cover to steal medical supplies. Every time Steve tries to question anything, Ricky has some sob story about helping the children, making Steve feel guilty for doubting him.
Give him a chance, sir. He's a changed man.
All right. I'll give you a week to make it up to me. And if you don't, you die!
The worst part? Ricky doesn't just disappear after getting caught. He sticks around long enough to give this dramatic speech to the hospital staff about how disappointed he is in Steve. He actually manages to convince everyone that Steve corrupted him, not the other way around. And just to twist the knife, he does that signature whisper one last time. Whispers Ricky Spanish. But if you think that's messed up, wait until you hear about Jenny Fromdeblock.
You gonna play that game or just lean on it? Name's Jenny. Jenny Fromdeblock. I'm Steve's cousin visiting from Jersey.
Yes! Yes, she is. I didn't mention it because...
No one's doing the math.
When Steve's friend Snot can't get a date, Roger creates this hot Jewish girl persona. Pretty standard Roger stuff, right? Well, it gets way worse.
Oh, Steve, you're home. I made bologna roll-ups for Snot and your... cousin?
Cousin.
Cousin.
You can have these, Steve. We have roll-ups of our own.
Instead of just letting Snot down easy, Roger goes full method with this persona. He's writing love letters, going on actual dates, and even meeting Snot's mom. The whole time, Steve's begging him to end it before things get too serious. But Roger just keeps pushing it further and further.
Roger, I didn't ruin your life. Jenny's not even real.
But our love was. Snot loved Jenny. And Jenny loved Snot.
Ew.
When Snot finally says he loves Jenny, Roger decides the only logical solution is to fake Jenny's death. And we're not talking about just saying she moved away. No, this psycho actually makes a body double out of hamburger meat, stages an elaborate suicide, and forces Steve to read this dramatic suicide note at the funeral.
She loved you, man. She loved you, and you were about to have sex with her. That's closer than any of us have ever gotten.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? So, Steve, what should we do now?
What do you feel like doing, big guy?
The craziest part? Roger actually attends the funeral as a different persona, just to watch Snot cry over a pile of ground beef. He's sitting there, eating popcorn, while this kid is having his heart broken over literal hamburger meat. Even Steve can't believe how far Roger took this one.
Sorry I'm late. I was in IKEA and I couldn't figure out how to leave. Every path led back to home office.
It's okay, Dr. Penguin. I've been feeling really guilty about...
Hold on.
Well, I've just been...
Hang on. There we go. Shoot.
One of Roger's recurring personas is Dr. Penguin, a psychiatrist. In this episode, Francine pays him $75 to talk to Stan, who's been bouncing in a moon bounce for 2 days. Dr. Penguin wears state-required rubber shoes and has socks with penguins on them.
Dr. Penguin? What are you doing here?
I run this group. I've had my own issues with substance abuse, and the cash I make from this gig helps me to continue to have them. So, Stan, why are you here?
Dr. Penguin serves as the Smith family's therapist, giving them terrible advice. He tells them to lie to each other about their problems instead of dealing with them honestly. Klaus, who was actually a real psychiatrist when he was human, gets frustrated because the family prefers Dr. Penguin's bad advice over real help.
I can't believe the family comes to you for therapy. People shouldn't ignore their emotions and avoid their problems.
What do you know? You're just a stupid fish.
When Klaus gets Roger's other persona, Sergeant Pepper, sent to Iraq, Klaus tries to take over as therapist. But when Klaus forces the family to confront their secrets honestly, they fall apart completely. The family only wants Dr. Penguin back because he tells them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear.
I want a roast.
Roger, do you even know what a roast is?
Of course I do. I was a member of the Friars Club in the 60s. I drove Phyllis Diller to 2 of her first 3 abortions. She must have such regret never getting her driver's license.
But if you want to see Roger completely snap, we need to talk about the space roast episode. The family decides to do a birthday roast for Roger. You know, just some lighthearted jokes. Pretty normal birthday stuff, right?
Good evening, and welcome to the Smith family roast of Roger Smith.
Say mean things, Stan. Talk about how he's grey.
You ready, Roger? Roger is truly one of the most interesting people I know. He's also a pathetic drug addict.
Everything's going fine until the actual roast starts. The family makes a few jokes about his personas, his drinking, basic roast stuff. But Roger? This dude takes it so personally that he decides the only reasonable response is to murder his entire family in space. He doesn't just get mad, he meticulously plans out this whole elaborate revenge scheme. First, he tries to blow them up in the kitchen. Then he has assassins shoot up their house.
I'm off for a little night run at the Howard University track.
Sit down and have dinner first.
Thank you, no. I'm going for a run, and I have to leave here right now, immediately.
Guys, get in here. The porn channel's coming in for some reason.
Nice. Is everyone okay?
Did we lose the porn?
Then he cuts their car brakes. When nothing works, the family flees to a space station thinking they'll be safe.
Sir, wait!
Well, according to this paper, Smith has sold 10 more magazine subscriptions than Sanders.
What?
I guess I have no choice but to let the Smith family take the Sanders place on the space station for the next year.
But Roger follows them to space and traps them on the shuttle. Now he forces them to roast each other, making them feel the same pain he felt. The whole thing turns into this dramatic confrontation in space, with Roger setting up death traps and giving villain speeches. All because they made a few jokes about him at his birthday party.
What's this hydrant doing here?
It was pushed through by the new chairman of the Homeowners Association.
Roy Rogers McFreely. Who?
Roy Rogers McFreely is the name. Chairing the Homeowners Association's my game.
Here's what happens when you forget to buy Roger grenadine. Stan forgets to pick up grenadine from the grocery store, ruining Roger's plans to make a Roy Rogers cocktail. Most people would just make a different drink, right? Not Roger. He decides to get revenge by infiltrating the Homeowners Association and becoming its chairman.
So I move that all bylaws, which have been recklessly amended by Chairman McFreely, be reinstated to their original glory.
Roger creates the persona Roy Rogers McFreely and charms the HOA board members to make him chairman. Then he uses his new power to make Stan's life miserable. He installs a fire hydrant in front of Stan's house so his car gets towed, puts a motion sensor light outside Stan's bedroom window, and makes Stan's curb a no parking zone.
You can't put a hydrant here!
Oh, no? Is this inside your house? Maybe you're in charge there, where they don't serve grenadine. But out here, I'm the law. You're in McFreely Town. Royville. Rogersburg. Excuse me. Anyway, this is my town. Charles, we're moving out. I apologize for the lack of drama in this exit.
The whole thing escalates into a neighborhood war. Roger hires Mexican workers to destroy Greg and Terry's rose garden and forces the agoraphobic Phil onto his veranda. Stan forms a resistance group with Haley, Steve, Greg, and Terry to fight back.
We're gonna put our neighborhood back the way it was. Listen to them cheering.
All because Stan didn't buy grenadine.
Max Jets, you're free to go.
Great.
Sorry to see you go, Max. You were a model prisoner. You basically just slept for 6 years.
Roger's wealthy persona, Max Jets, gets out of prison after 6 years. The Smith family loves this persona because he showers them with money and promises to leave them his inheritance. But then Max meets Gina, a gold-digging waitress, and everything changes. Max falls for Gina and starts giving her money instead of the family. The Smiths try to convince him she's only after his wealth, but Max refuses to listen.
The gold digger, bro.
Don't be ridiculous.
Wake up, leprechaun. She's after your gold.
I assure you, Stan, Gina loves me. She hasn't asked me for a single cent. In fact, the only thing she wants to do is sing.
He even builds her a recording studio in the basement. When they confront Max about Gina flirting with other men on the beach, he responds by proposing to her. The family tries to kill Max before the wedding, but their own greed causes them to sabotage each other. They arrive too late to stop the ceremony, but here's the twist. Gina had a prenup, then poisons Max's wedding cake.
You know that's how I like to do that.
This family will never again allow money to corrupt.
Oh my God!
Max dies and leaves everything to his son Jerry Jets, another Roger persona who Gina was secretly working with all along.
Hurry, everyone! Stan will be here any moment.
Do you think he'll like my gift, Mother?
If it's anything like you, sweet Stephen, I'm sure he'll adore it.
This episode is actually a stage play performed in the style of August Osage County. Patrick Stewart hosts the theatrical production, presenting it as a lost play by an unsuccessful playwright. The whole episode takes place as a live theater performance, dealing with Stan's repressed childhood memories. The play centers around Stan's surprise birthday party, where Francine invites his estranged father Jack out of prison.
Who's we?
Me.
You!
That's right. Your dad.
You're...
Your daddy.
No, I mean you're...
Ready for a swim?
No, I'm surprised you're...
Out of jail?
Yes!
Me too.
Roger plays Edna, a maid character who's caring for Bullock and Haley's secret love child. As the theatrical story unfolds, dark family secrets are revealed about Stan's childhood. By the end, we learn the truth about why Stan's father left. It wasn't abandonment, but Stan's father was actually a clown robber who had to flee from the police. The revelation that Stan was responsible for splitting up his family devastates him, leading to the play's tragic ending, where Stan shoots himself with an antique pistol.
Stan, don't! It's me, Principal Lewis!
This is American Dad's 200th episode, set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Stan, covered in tattoos that tell stories of his family, wanders through the ruins of Langley Falls, searching for his loved ones. The world has been destroyed by something called the Blast, and survivors fear a mysterious group called the 200.
Or someone. Run for your lives!
Is it the...
It's the 200! They're coming!
Stan teams up with his injured neighbor Greg and eventually Roger, who initially claims he made up the 200 to scare people and steal their supplies. But as they search for Stan's family, the truth becomes more complex. The post-apocalyptic world is filled with cannibalistic survivors and dangerous scavengers. The big reveal: the 200 are real. They're 200 clones of Roger's personas, created when Roger accidentally went into a Hadron Collider.
Sorry, I dropped my Ray-Bans. What's that sound?
The beam! It's starting!
Ouch! Something really, really small just hit me. Ouch! And again! Ow. Ow. Ow.
Dear God.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
All of Roger's personalities, from Ricky Spanish to Dr. Penguin, became separate beings and caused the apocalypse. The episode ends with Stan reuniting with his family and Jeff arriving on a Dragonklaus to save the day. From creating personas that hunt down his own family, to starting neighborhood wars over grenadine, to literally creating his own society just to watch it burn, Roger's taken being psychotic to a whole new level. The craziest part? These aren't even all of his insane moments. The longer Roger lives with the Smiths, the more unhinged he seems to get. And for an alien who's willing to fake his own death with hamburger meat just to avoid an awkward conversation, that's saying something. Whatever Roger's planning next, we know it's going to involve multiple personas, at least one elaborate scheme, and probably several war crimes.